Alright, we're on hole number 2 of the Celtic Cup tournament. We're in the Monday. I'm using it as a practice round just to kind of get the holes. There's some of these holes I've played one practice round already, and that's the first time I saw those holes. So I'm trying to establish today what clubs I want to bring and what ball I'm going to need. And that'll get me on some of these holes, that'll tell me what my next shot needs to be. I'm going to switch out a couple of these. I was trying to get practice stuff, so I had kind of utility bags in. Alright, on this one we just need a Saturn. It looks like from my notes that I'm going to bring a katana. We'll see what happens. Now, I'm not really doing any additions to the wind. Today my goal is to try and hit as many perfect shots as possible so I can go back and watch video and see like where it landed and what kind of pull and what the direction of the wind was, so that I can establish whether I need to add on or subtract out some wind. So some of these holes look like they're a little uphill, and if they're uphill we're going to take off some wind, and if they're downhill we're going to add on some wind. So today's goal is not to really worry too much about adding on or subtracting off wind, but to just do really good normal wind adjustments, establish if I'm bringing the right club and ball, and then really go back and be critical on those shots that I hit perfect to see whether or not I need to add on any wind or take off any wind. And like all par 3s, I like to be as close to the cup as possible. I'm not a fan of putting traps into play. So there's my red line. So maximum curl, some backspin. Let's see what kind of movement I get on it. You can see how touchy that spot is down there. You move it a little bit to the left or the right and you're all over the place. So it hits 1.9 per ring, so that's about a ring and a half. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look. The distance there, I would have either had to, I'll have to go back and look at that and see if I needed to add on a little bit of curl or if it was a side spin deal, where I was at as far as my adjustment. The deal is if you hit back a little farther from where that I set up, if you pull it back out there into that fairway area just a little bit, you're going to get a lot more consistent, where you're not having to, it's not look at how that hill goes. Definitely don't want to hit it long. Big hill on the backside. Good game. Good luck in the tournament. Alright, that was hole number 2 of the Celtic Cup tournament. So if you hit it back a little bit farther, so like I'm in this spot right here trying to go to the green, and if I move it just a little bit, it moves the ball over here. I move it a little bit this way, it moves the ball over here, and so you got this big span because you're kind of hitting the greens like this, and you're hitting on that little bit of a hill face right here. But if you get further back where it gets flatter out here in the fairway, you're not going to have to use as much backspin. You don't have to be back as far as my opponent was, but you can get about half the distance from where my opponent was to where I was. You'll probably get a little bit truer trajectory, and you won't have to have as much on the ball. But the closer you can get, in my opinion, the better off you're going to be, because you're always giving yourself almost a guaranteed birdie. Alright, that was hole number 2. Thanks for watching.